Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Welcome to the Enter The Fangirls podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Lexie, and we're just two girls with the slight obsession of everything pop culture.
And we're joined by Macy again.
Yay!
It's me again.
Woo!
I told you you'd be seeing a lot of her.
Yeah.
So if you don't like me, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No.
too bad.
If you don't like her, we're fighting, so.
Yeah, we love Macy.
Mm-hmm.
But today we're doing a comfort episode where we're basically just going to talk about our comfort shows and comfort movies.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this, it's Valentine's Day weekend or Valentine's Day. This is our Valentine's Day episode.
It's our Galentine's Day.
Galentine's Day. Oh,
I
I
hate
love
that word. I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, so we figured that would be kind of like a nice idea for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, are some of these very comforting? No.
No.
That's fine.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
They're not.
Macy's. But if you don't know what a comfort show is, actually, Lex, would you like to read your fun description you found?
According to Urban Dictionary, a comfort show is a television series that one watches to feel less terrible and a movie that evokes many positive / lovely feelings in that one person. That's very loosely, because some of these shows just do not.
Wholeheartedly disagree
Yeah.
with that definition.
My own thing I wrote was that it's a go-to watch when you're feeling upset or just need something to watch. It's one of those things you can put on when you're sad, when you're scared, when you don't have anything else to watch, and you know this won't let you down.
That's a better definition.
Yeah, because then you can control what episode you're putting on a little better.
It's a little iffy. You know, sometimes you just want a good cry.
I mean,
yeah.
there's one show I'm going to talk about where there's never a happy episode.
No. Never.
But do we want to start with our TV shows first?
Yes, we can. We chose our top 3. There's definitely more. I at least have more.
Yeah, but this episode would
Yeah.
be so long.
Yeah. My first show is How I Met Your Mother. And this is just the show that I probably rewatched the most. It's just one of the I can just put on in the background doing anything and it's just background noise, but I could still quote like every single episode. It's very unhealthy. Shout out to the person that first made me watch this. I know no longer friends with her, but you know what? This is the only good thing that came out of the friendship is my comfort show. It's just, if you don't have like a sitcom as one of your comfort shows, I think you need to go to therapy. Just at least once. Macy, we'll get to you in a second. But just they're 20-minute episodes of just like you could sit back and laugh and just like kind of forget about everything. And that's what How I Met Your Mother is. Even though sometimes
I was going to say, I feel like in that show there isn't a lot of moments, for me at least, that made me cry or upset. Like there are like a few off the top of my head that I don't want to think about. But like for the most part, I feel like that's like a show that's like
very
stagnantly happy and lighthearted. Yeah.
I have not watched it.
You should. It's really good.
Okay.
I will put it on the list.
It's not like a high watch. People like kind of hate it just for like certain reasons, and the whole plot of the show.
The ending is what people hate.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Which I really understand. But you have to admit, like, each episode is pretty funny. Rather, you just like take out the entire plot line of the entire show and just watch episode by episode. Each episode's pretty funny. Just like all the running gags and everything.
They do really good Christmas and Thanksgiving episodes too.
I might have to start watching that while I play Sims. That might be my new
There
Sims.
you go.
Yeah.
That's a good one. There's like this one running gag throughout the entire show that I'll talk about a little bit later because it's one of like my favorite comfort episodes. But me and my friends will just say like legend, wait, word, dairy like all the time. There's some, what was it? It's Ted and like Robin's little thing when they're like, oh, that's a major problem. They're like, major problem. It's just like stupid little things that just like make me so happy. And honestly, that's probably one of the shows I rewatched most in college while doing my homework or just studying because I need background noise. So that's my go-to. So thank you to the creators of How I Met Your Mother for getting me through college.
I will say I have watched like episodes when they've been on TV, like
Yeah.
kind of in the background. But I will say there was one time there was an episode on, and something in it has always stuck with me and my family. Like none of us have watched it, but that thing stuck with us, and we still say it. The Woohoo Girls.
Yes.
Yeah, we say that like all the time, and that was like 5-6 years ago that we saw that, and it still sticks with us.
Just like they try to find each other's doppelgangers throughout the show, and the way that they find them are just so funny. Barney always saying suit up.
Oh my god, speaking of suits though, I had Nothing Suits Me Like a Suit on my playlist for a good year.
Stop.
I was obsessed.
I just also love Neil Patrick Harris, so like that's another thing. And then there was something else that I was gonna say.
I had a huge crush on Jason Segel, or however you say his last name. I had a huge crush on him like a couple years ago.
Cute.
Adorable. I think I was dating someone that looked like him, and that was the only reason, to be honest.
Stop. Oh my god. But no, I also feel like I am Robin Scherbatsky.
Yeah.
Like Sam's the only one that has to agree with that, because she's the only one that watched it.
No,
but,
I can see it.
Just very like tomboy hardcore.
Does that mean you're like an honorary Canadian now?
You know what? It can be. Even though I love that they make jokes of Canada the entire series.
It's so funny watching it as a Canadian and knowing that American people wrote it, because I'm just like, this is not anything like it is here.
I hope they make fun of bagged milk. I hope they do.
I don't think they do.
No,
but we're not getting on the topic of bagged milk, and we'll be here all day.
Okay.
That could be a whole episode.
That could be an episode.
Fun fact: the creators of How I Met Your Mother are actually from where I live.
Oh, I love that.
That's cool.
Like, why aren't you in How I Met Your Father then?
Yeah,
I know, right? No, like Lily's dad is actually from like here.
So my first comfort show is The Office, which is such a basic sitcom to like say is your comfort show, but I mean it's like, I don't know, I put it on, I know the joke, like you were saying, Alexie, you know the jokes, you laugh every time. It just makes you happy, and it's familiar, and you know the characters so well. And it's just, I don't know, like I can watch any episode and I will die out laughing. Mm-hmm. And so that's like, I don't know, The Office for sure. And I know some people are like, The Office isn't funny, which is fine with me. Your personality doesn't have to be that you hate The Office.
Yeah, no.
Or your personality doesn't have to be that you love The Office. Like it's a familiar, comfortable show that you just know is always going to be funny. And I don't know, there's just something so comforting about being able to recite your favorite lines when you watch episodes. Mm-hmm. And it's also one of those things where I feel like it's a comfort show when you show someone else the show and you're so excited for them to have their reactions to what you've watched before. So I think that also like kind of is the way of a comfort show.
Yeah.
Like you love sharing it with other people, and you want to see their reactions and how they laugh at certain things. So yeah, I've always been like anytime someone hasn't watched The Office, I love showing it to them. If I know it's their humor, because I know it's not for everyone.
Yeah, I know. Like I've definitely like watched episodes of it, and I don't think it's my kind of show, but like I'm also like, I know it brings people joy, so like who am I to say that it's bad or anything?
Mm-hmm. Right. So if someone doesn't like it, it's like it's okay.
Yeah.
But like if I know it's their vibe,
that's not to say I haven't laughed at certain scenes from it, because I've definitely seen scenes and I'm like, what the hell is this show? Like it has its moments for sure.
It's just there's so many quotable things, obviously. Like even if you haven't seen the show, you know some of the quotable things from it.
In my law class in high school, a bunch of the students convinced our teacher to watch it, and then he started showing us his favorite clips every single day. And I remember vividly us watching the scene where they're doing CPR on the dummy to stay in alive.
Yes.
And, like, we were just all dying in class, and it was, like, just a core memory now.
Yeah. The writing is really good, and they're just so good at, like, just the comedic timing, and the actors are good. And also my AirPod case is a little paper
Oh,
company.
that's cute!
Yeah.
I love
So I love, like, that kind of stuff too. It just
I love
gives
that.
me joy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of The Office, though, my favorite is Friends. That's my first comfort show, and I feel like so often The Office and Friends are pitted against each other. Like, it's
I
always,
think they're
which one do you
kindred
prefer?
spirits.
Thank you. Everybody's
Yeah.
always like, do you prefer The Office or Friends? Which one do you think is funnier? And I'm just like, you
can
know
like
what?
both.
They're kind of the same show, just a bit of a different sense of humor
Yeah.
and set in a completely different way. But I feel like
Right.
they're kind of the same vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
But a lot of the things you said, like, for me, like, I do get, like, really excited to watch it with people. Like, I'm just like, you've never seen this, like, let me introduce this to you, because it's just so fun to watch. And, like I've already said, like, comfort shows are that kind of show you can put on wherever, like, whenever you don't have anything to watch. I can put on any episode of Friends and just, like, coast. Like, I'm good. Even the ones that kind of upset me, like, there are some episodes that I'm just like, oh, this is kind of sad. Still watch them. The only one I won't rewatch is the finale, because that makes me cry.
And it still hits the same every
Right?
time you see those
Yeah.
sad ones. It's like you're watching it for the first time.
It's like
again.
the pan out and then, like, zooming in on, like, the door frame. I got full body chills. It gets me every
I
time.
remember watching that live.
Oh,
I remember that. That's a core memory of
Yeah.
fourth grade.
You just showed your age, Macy. Some of these people have never
I
weren't even
know,
alive
I know.
when Friends
I was
aired.
like,
I know.
when did that end? 2004? I was 3.
Yeah.
So
I was in fourth
I was not
grade.
watching the finale.
Stop.
But yeah, it's just like I love all the characters. I love all the episodes. Like, it's just so comforting to me. And, like, my friend and I, we are huge fans of the show. So, like, whenever we would have sleepovers, we'd watch, like, a scary movie, and we're like, okay, time to put on Friends. And then we had, like, favorite episodes, and we would be sitting there, and we'd, like, quote it together the entire time. And just, like, I love it.
It brings people together.
Yeah,
It really
like, that was
does.
definitely, like, our thing. Like, we would just, like, we even got each other Friends-themed gifts for Christmas one year. Like, it's just our show.
I love that.
And,
Yeah.
like, I know people aren't into the whole Joey and Rachel thing, but that was kind of, like, our favorite, like, storyline to watch, because we have, like, one episode that is, like, an inside thing between us that we think is so sad and so adorable.
I thought they were cute. Still do.
They are cute.
That's another episode, because I have thoughts.
I completely agree with you. Friends would definitely be on my comfort list. And I love that each Friends character, I feel like you can identify with each of them. Like, I know
Yeah.
people say, oh, I'm such a Rachel and stuff, or
Yeah.
I'm such a Phoebe, but it's like, I feel like you can find yourself in
I feel like you
bit
can,
of them.
Absolutely.
yeah, like, I definitely can't, like, just pick one. I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit of Monica, I'm also a little bit of Chandler, and maybe
Yeah.
some Ross
Right.
thrown in there kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think
It's like they're
everyone
kind
is
of
just, like, a mix
relatable.
of all of them. For
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I also think Friends is an interesting comfort show because of how many generations have watched it. Like,
Yeah.
now since it's on streaming services, like, obviously, like, your generation and, like, part of our generation has watched it for the first time on there, but, like, our parents watched it.
Literally,
like,
right before
while
we
it
started
was-
filming this, it was on my TV. My mom was watching it.
Yeah, like, our parents watched it while
Yeah.
it was actually, like, premiering. Like, people remember watching it. And
Right.
so, like, you can go to, like, a family party and, like, just throw on Friends and everyone will want to
And
watch it.
something else I like
Yeah.
about it, I feel like it doesn't age itself too much. Like,
No.
I feel like with so many
No.
shows, you can tell the age. And, like, maybe in, like, the first
Yes.
season, you can kind of be like, okay, this is kind of old.
Yeah.
But, like, after that, I'm like, no, like, this feels, it has its moments where it maybe isn't so modern. But, like, for
Yeah.
the most part, I'm just like, this doesn't feel like a show from the 90s.
That makes me think of one time one of them said BFF, and they're like, what? Everyone was like, what does that mean? And they're like, oh, it means best friends forever. And it was like, how is that not, like,
Yeah.
a common
Yeah.
thing that you already know? So it was like one of those little things that I thought of. Yeah.
Also, that's just, like, another show, like, where I have, like Lexie said about How I Met Your Mother, like, so many just, like, inside jokes and, like, lines I just quote on the
Mhm.
daily. Like, I say it's a moot point constantly. I love that show.
I love that.
It's like one of my all-time favorites.
Dang. I want to rewatch Friends now.
I want to rewatch How I Met Your Mother.
You guys are like really making me want to just have like marathons. You guys are just selling it so well. Like
You
I
are
mean, even
so
glad.
even though I've seen it, like seen Friends, like I want to
You
watch
need
it
to,
again.
You need to rewatch,
Yeah.
you need to watch How I
Yeah.
Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I need
And
to
then
watch.
rewatch
it.
Friends.
Yeah.
Or do
There
both.
we go.
But she's
Let me
still stuck
finish
on
How I
SVU.
Met Your
Let me
Mother
finish
is kind of
SVU.
like How I Met Your Mother is kind of like a more new version of Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
that's what a lot
characters
of
in that you
people
can
say.
kind of like pinpoint as Friends characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though there's only 5 of them. Not 6.
Ever.
But it's okay.
I feel like also with Friends, there's like each one of this is kind of like a trope of characters. So
Mhm.
like when there's other shows that
Yeah.
have like a big ensemble like that, they'll be like they're also those tropes. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, no,
you
definitely.
kind of can relate them to each other. But also Friends was a pioneer for that time.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that like took over the 90s, I think. Like I feel like
Yeah.
you can't look up a 90s aesthetic without something Friends or Friends cast related showing up.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Or basically just Jennifer Aniston. But
True.
it's fine.
But I also felt like it set up every other sitcom that was a bunch of single friends in a city trying to navigate
Yeah.
life and dating.
Like I feel like, okay, maybe not, but like Sex and the City, is it more of the raunchy version of Friends in a sense?
No, it definitely is, and just more of a female version.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just like those 90s sitcoms. Yeah, they definitely were like helped every other sitcom after them, I feel like.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because
I feel like
the
in
comedy,
the 80s,
the writing is
Mhm.
just different from any
Yeah.
other sitcom.
I feel like in the 70s and 80s, it was like family sitcoms, like Full House,
Yeah.
and Who's the Boss, and that kind of stuff. And then 90s to 2000s was like friend kind of sitcoms. Like
Yeah,
you had How I
sometimes-
Met Your Mother, you had The Office, you had like Parks and Rec,
Mhm.
you had Friends, like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now I think we're in a wave of like high school sitcoms. Like Sex Education, Euphoria, Riverdale, Glee was a thing.
Those aren't really sitcoms
True.
because they follow,
Have
know,
we
'cause,
gotten
like-
a good sitcom in a while?
No.
I'm gonna be honest,
I can't remember the last sitcom we got that wasn't a reboot.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, Blackish
Sure.
is a sitcom.
yeah. Brooklyn
Blackish
Nine-Nine is
is.
definitely a sitcom.
Yeah.
It's
I've been
it's
trying
hard
to think of a
for
laugh track
sitcoms.
show. I was gonna say
there
One
is
Day
some.
at a Time is incredible, but that's a reboot, so
Yeah. Modern Family, I guess. But it is in the laugh track. It is a sitcom.
yeah. I'm trying to think of a laugh track show.
I think they retired the laugh track because nobody likes them.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
laugh
gonna
tracks.
So my next one is another sitcom. Well, this goes on the topic of more recent sitcoms that have actually taken off. Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
This is one that
This is
like.
one we've actually all seen.
Oh my god, it is.
I think this is like the only show
Wait,
that we've all seen.
Friends.
Oh,
Okay,
well, that's
yeah.
You just
And Desperate. Okay.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Forget what I said.
But
I have
Yes.
a Schitt's Creek sticker on my phone. You can't see it because I got something over it, but it's all of them on there. I love that so
I got
much.
nothing.
and my
I
shirt Schitt's Creek.
I had to fold in the cheese the other day, and I just kept saying it over and over again.
Yes. What does that mean?
You folded in.
They're just the timing of everything in that show was just so good, and just they were so campy, which
So campy.
made it 1,000 times better.
Also, that cast, top notch. You could not change a single thing about it.
I would die for Dan Levy.
Oh my
That's
god.
just Catherine
I
O'Hara.
completely
Best
agree.
man ever.
I'm a Catherine O'Hara stan.
I'm too.
Them are so
Oh my
good.
god. I love
But Dan
everyone.
Levy's comedic timing, incredible. He's so funny.
So good.
My
They're
favorite
just
scene
so
of him though
good.
is when I think it's the season 2 opener, And they're like, why didn't you call? He's like, I texted Alexis. And he's just like sitting in the field. It's so funny. That entire scene is my favorite.
Oh no, wait, what was it? Yeah,
I think
he was
it
like,
was
I
the scene
called
too.
Alexis 3 days ago.
And
Sorry,
Alexis says
to
something.
like one text, David.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. That's like that's like the one thing I can remember from the show, and I'm just like, I laugh all the time.
Just so good.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off. Keep like talking.
Okay. This is the one show that I've probably rewatched the least, but it's something that I always want to rewatch.
I feel like it's newer though. Like you like
No, it is.
recently watched it, so like
I rewatched it. I watched it for the first time the end of 2020, and I think I did a rewatch summer-ish of last year.
I started it last year.
It's so good, and I'm so mad that I didn't like get into it while it was on television, and like it got all that hype when it won all the Emmys, which it rightfully should have won all of them.
Yeah.
But I wish it was like won all those awards earlier on.
I'm saying, if you come to Canada, we can go visit it.
Yeah, I
the
know.
town they filmed in. You guys can both come.
1000% would go.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
I did go to a pop-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't they do pop-ups near me?
I don't know. It's
Why
like
don't they
this
do a
place near
pop-up
me.
where it's literally filmed near me and then I could go?
True.
I know, why
do
do you
anything
have
in
in
Canada?
Mississippi?
No, they don't.
hell?
But just Schitt's Creek, and like Schitt's Creek is such a quotable show too. Like I can't even tell you how many times I say, "Ew, David."
And it stands on its own. You cannot compare it to anything else. It is so unique. And it doesn't like, pull from anything. Like
and it's very inclusive.
I don't know how they came up with that show, but like it's phenomenal. Like
yeah,
they did so good. They deserve every ounce of praise that they did for it.
That show really makes me cry too, because like you could see how each character just grew right from the beginning. Sorry. And
Alexis
grew so much, and then David and Patrick. Oh, love that.
Anytime I hear You're Simply the Best,
I was just gonna say I stand by that being the most romantic scene ever, and if I'm not proposed to exactly like that, turning it down.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Just they're so perfect for each other, and I still crack up thinking about the sign leaving Schitt's Creek or coming to Schitt's Creek.
Don't worry, it's his sister.
Just such a good show.
So good. Now I want to rewatch that.
Yeah. No, I really need to.
It hasn't even
There's
been
so many quirks. So many good quirks about it. Like Moira's accent, her wigs.
It's so funny watching her in that and then going to something like Home Alone and just being like,
yeah.
What?
It's so funny because on Twitter I saw where so many people didn't know who she was until Schitt's Creek, and then they'll watch something else of her and be like, her voice is different, and it's like,
no, do you think she talks
know who
like
Catherine O'Hara is? Have you not watched Beetlejuice? Have you not watched Home Alone? Like, she's iconic.
So iconic.
And they're all Canadian legends. So I'm sure you love that, Sam.
I do. I'm very proud.
Okay, so my second comfort one is The Golden Girls, which rip Betty White. I was extremely upset about that. I watched The Golden Girls all day. But it's a show that I've been watching since I was a kid. I would watch, I don't know if this is really Southern to say. I should have just said grandma. But I used to watch it with my meemaw. Anytime it came on, I would watch it with her, and it's just like been such a staple for me. Like it's such a comfort to watch because it was very progressive for such a sitcom of old women in the 80s and early 90s. Like they would have so many episodes that dealt with like HIV.
I was gonna say that was an episode.
Yeah, or suicide or mental health and like just things like that. They really talked about, and they were really open
this was
about.
Like, what year was that?
like, I think it came out in
80s?
I was
87.
gonna say, I think
Yeah.
it was the 80s.
Yeah, and
So,
a
like,
lot
for
of
stuff
stuff
like
they
that-
talked about was taboo, and
also, like, just having, like, a show with, like, an all, like, near senior cast and being so, like, open about sex is crazy.
Wait, did you
Yes.
guys know that the woman that played Dorothy and the woman that played, I can't think of their actual
B.
names.
Arthur and
And-
Estelle Getty.
Yeah, they're a
They're
year
like a year
apart.
apart.
A year.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
I mean, and the woman who played Sophia, her mom, obviously they put makeup on her to make her look older, but she also had extreme anxiety. Like, she had stage fright so bad,
Oh,
but you could never tell. She
You
was
could
the
never
funniest
tell.
one.
funny.
But and they had, I don't know, it's just like I can put it on and I'm just really happy because there's no show like it, first
No.
of all. And the jokes still hit. I will say sometimes I have to look up the people they joke about, but then I get it. Like, I'll look
Yeah.
it up and I'll be like, okay, I get it now. So some of the jokes are dated for sure, but their dry sense of humor and just their jokes aren't like slapstick. You know what I mean? Like, in your face funny.
It's all
very
very
dry.
subtle, yeah.
And that's the kind of comedy I like. So I think that's Golden Girls is just
Which
I
Golden
think-
Girl are you guys? I'm a Rose. I took a quiz.
I actually have no idea.
I don't know. I think it's one of those things, like I said about Friends.
Lexie, you're
I
Sophia.
see myself. I'm Sophia.
No, Lexie is.
Oh,
Okay,
Um,
maybe.
I mean, I don't want to say Blanche.
No, wait. No, what's the other one's name?
Dorothy.
Dorothy. I think
Rose.
Alexie's either a Dorothy
I
or
said
she's
Dorothy.
a Sophia.
But they're mom and daughter, so it goes hand in
Yeah,
hand.
okay, so you're a healthy mix of them both.
I
No,
don't
Macy, I
know
can
if
see you being a Blanche.
I do love Blanche. Well,
Yeah.
she's Southern, so
Yeah.
there's that. But she has which is something else I love about her, and actually just all that. Okay, I'll bring this up real quick. So there was always a viral clip going around of the Golden Girls where they're all laughing in the show of Rose telling a joke, and people are saying they're breaking character, and they kept it in. But the woman who was on set the day Betty White died, she wrote about this on Facebook. She said, actually, nothing we ever did was improvised or put in because they laughed. It's all calculated. And they just made it look so authentic. They were just
That's
such
crazy.
great actors, and they made it look so real that,
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it nothing was ever like just put in or anything. Everything was well acted and
And
well
I like that because it
rehearsed.
makes you like really believe that they're all like real friends having like a
Right.
real conversation.
Yeah.
Because that is exactly how
Right.
I'd be laughing with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
It was just very like everything they do, like they're just such great actors, and they put a lot into their characters, especially with Rue McClanahan, who played Blanche. I mean, she was the one who decided to do that accent, and she does not sound like that at all.
Really?
She is
That's
not
crazy.
Southern.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
She decided herself, kind of like Myra, like how Catherine O'Hara was like, I want to do this accent. They just decided
It
to
just
do it.
worked so well.
It works. Like, she does such a good like old style Savannah, Georgia accent, and it's just stuff like that that makes you realize like these are really good actors, especially in
Yeah.
sitcoms, because there are some sitcoms where things just feel very in your face, funny, kind of cheap, like
Mm-hmm.
feel. But it's good when it's a show where these people really hone their craft and their characters.
Yeah.
I could talk about
I
Golden
wish
Girls
more
forever.
of this generation would watch Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny.
My second one is Gilmore Girls. So, specifically season 1 to 4, because after season 4, I get really frustrated and they bring in new characters that I don't like. And also, they change writers in season 7, so it's like a completely different show almost. But the best way I can describe this show is it just feels like a warm hug. Like, everyone in this town is so comforting, and like just like a whole caricature, however you say that word. I love it. I love it so much. Like, Lorelai Gilmore is who I aspire to be. And they also make so many pop culture references, which I feel like is part of the reason why I'm so big into pop culture, as we can obviously tell, considering we made a podcast. So like, even like I have like the box set, and like they have little manuals with each season that tells you all like the pop culture references. So I'll like read it as I'm watching episodes.
Cute.
I love it so much. And like the casting is so good. Like, there is like, it's another show where I can't picture anyone else playing these characters. And I don't think either of you have seen it. So like, I can't really talk too much about it, but like, it's so good. I feel like it's just like so cleverly written. Like, they talk a mile a minute. It's so good. I love it so much.
I was gonna bring that up. I've caught episodes like here and there back when it would just come on ABC Family randomly, and I would just sit and be like, why are they talking so fast? Like, I was so confused.
The actress,
is there a reason?
No, it's just how they are, because they like drink a lot of coffee. So I think like the whole joke is like they drink so much coffee they're constantly wired. But it's funny because the actress who plays Lorelai, she wrote a book called Talking as Fast as I Can, as like a kind of thing, because she talks nonstop.
Yeah.
Even my dad said like he's never watched the show in full, but he's like, have you seen the way those two talk to each other? He's like, it's just like a mile a minute.
Yeah.
It's so good though. Like, the fact that because there's like no room for improv. Like, they've said that there's no way we can do improv because everything is just like there and we have to nail it. There's so much to fit in.
It's clearly like they're trying to put in as much dialogue as possible.
Yeah. And like,
there's
it's so fun like seeing like all these references that they make, and like it's so good. And it's like
I was gonna bring that up.
Thing that you want.
Like, on TikTok, there's this guy who does these TikToks like telling you what these Gilmore Girl references mean, and he'll go through them and he'll like show the clip from Gilmore Girls, and then he'll explain it, because apparently they make all these like really intellectual references. Yeah. And you really have to know like what they'll make like David Lynch
references.
But it even goes further, like history and like stuff you just have to know, and like,
well, because the daughter's like a genius, so then she'll make random references to like old literature, and then they'll make references to like movies from like the 30s. Like, it's insane. And I don't know how the writers deserve every amount of praise that they ever got, every award they got, because the stuff that they could fit in was brilliant, and also so quotable, so funny. I love it.
I also get another Gilmore Girls TikTok where it's this woman.
I think it's a sign. I think you need to watch.
Maybe.
It might not be your show. I don't think it's a show for everybody, but it's fun.
But there's this other woman who was like, I don't know what she did. I think she was maybe in the props department, or no. She was a clothes person, whatever. And she'll like explain stuff that they had to do on set, and just crazy stuff they had to do just to be on time for everything. Also, our girl Machen was in it.
So true.
She's Sherry.
She's in one of my favorite episodes of the
So I've seen her clips.
Oh, it's so good. You'd love like the one episode she's in. It's just so good.
I've watched her episodes, and that's
yeah.
It's a show, like, it makes me happy for the most part. But I think I just cry at every finale, but that finale got me so good. I don't talk about the reboot. I hate the reboot. I feel like it's not a show for everybody, but I do think it's one that like is entertaining, and I feel like it's just so bizarre. Like, when I talk, because one of my comfort episodes is on here from Gilmore Girls, and like when I tell you like the premise of that, it's just gonna be like, what? Like, is this a real show? Like, they have some weird ideas, but it's so good. Lexie, yours next. Oh wait, we have to talk about this one together.
Yeah. This one's conjoined because it's on
mine too.
List. It's on Sam's list because I told her to watch the show, and I got her fully addicted.
I had already watched season 1 before I even met you guys. You just pressured me into watching the rest of it.
Yeah. I do want to say I do watch this show too.
Yeah.
Like, I love this show too. Brie is my girl.
Catherine's mine.
My queen.
We should probably say it's Desperate Housewives.
Yes, it's Desperate Housewives. I'll try not to talk about this too much because Sam and I can literally do an entire episode on Desperate Housewives, and I think we are going to.
Oh, I bet y'all could.
We can. So, Desperate Housewives, I've watched this show maybe 5 times rewatch.
I watched it back in like 2020, I think, and I've rewatched it like 3 or 4 times since then. It's insane.
Yeah. Like, this is not like a sitcom show where I can like rewatch it really quickly. Like, they're hour-long episodes, but like 40, 45 minutes. So.
But I feel like they go by so quick.
They do. They do.
It's addicting.
It's so good.
The show is like not like your normal comfort episode though, because it's not like a comedy. It's a sitcom. It's a dramedy.
It's a dramedy. I was gonna say it's not primarily a comedy.
No, but there's definitely some funny moments.
It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like I even wrote, I'm like, it's not the most funny, but the way especially Brie delivers her lines just makes it funny.
My queen,
Her delivery of everything is hilarious. Like me and Alexie, like one of Lexie's favorite lines is, "There's someone who hits you with a dead squirrel every day," and it's so funny. Like out of context, it's just like what? But in the show, it's just the way she delivers it. It's so funny.
Oh, just their
communication. They're so good.
And like also like it keeps you hooked the entire time because there's always like a new mystery and all of the characters are so intriguing. And I feel like it's a show where I never guess what was going to happen. Like I didn't ever guess what the main end goal in a storyline was. I don't think I did once.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, like I feel like maybe we got close, but I don't think you ever really got there because it like kind of subverted all expectations.
I think I was more shocked at some endings than others.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Season 4, like Catherine's entire storyline just like went so.
My girl, Catherine is my favorite.
And then
I do love Catherine.
Season 1, I was very taken aback by.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Not like the most shocking, but I was just like,
no, I'm just like.
I remember watching that in 4th grade.
Yeah.
When it came out.
And then my queen, Angie Boleyn, as well. Her
storyline is so good.
So good.
Season 6 is a little traumatizing to me as a Catherine fan, but it's...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely a little traumatizing. Good. But, you know, there's so much... The majority of episodes make you, like, laugh.
Yeah.
But then there's their disaster episodes, which I still find such comfort in, which is so weird.
I feel like they're just like some
traumatizing.
It's because they're interesting.
They're so well made.
They're very well made.
So well made.
I mean, if you've seen the BTS of the tornado episode,
they got helicopter thingies in there. Like
they put in work.
Yeah,
like
that is not my favorite one. I will not rewatch that one.
Yeah. I will. It's the most depressing one.
No, I can't. I can rewatch like certain scenes from it, but I cannot rewatch that. It hurts me.
I still remember when a certain person got impaled, and that stuck with me as a small child.
It was like that was like low key kind of funny.
It was. The CGI was a little.
Yeah. Fine. It was a time.
But
I mean, we weren't gonna put it as your comfort episode, but the hostage episode is honestly some of the best TV I've watched.
Oh my god.
It's like so well acted, well made. It's
that
insane.
stuck with me.
It still scares me a little bit.
No, it does. Oh, just so
you guys are talking about the one with Laurie Metcalf in the grocery store. Okay.
Yeah, the grocery store.
He always plays a crazy lady.
That is such like a lone episode.
Oh yeah.
That feels like a movie almost. Like it's just like
to watch it, and then like everybody like gathered around watching it. Oh my god, we could talk about this in a whole episode.
Yes.
We could talk about it.
That is such a good episode.
A watch party for it.
I literally did a ranking of the disaster episodes, and that was my number 1. And all I could say was the acting in this is phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
one of
agree.
the other favorite episodes is plane crash happens.
Yeah.
Just like literally all my comfort Desperate Housewives episodes are like disaster ones.
Also, like it's so bizarre. Like at one point a plane crashes onto a residential street.
Like
they really just doing the most in Wisteria Lane.
Yeah. It's an insane show, but it's so comforting to me. Like it's one of my comfort episodes is from that show, and I'll talk about like why and like what that episode means to me. But like
What state? Do they ever say what state Wisteria Lane is in?
So it's kind
Why
of
do I
funny.
feel like it's Wisconsin?
And it's definitely not Wisconsin.
It's not
It's
Wisconsin.
never actually suggested, but their license plates say the Eagle State, which is kind of go with Pennsylvania, but they also say
Right.
towns that are really in like upstate New York, and they're like, oh, Mount
Mhm.
Vernon, which is not super far from like
Yeah.
Manhattan. So
I watched like this
I'm
one
gonna say
interview
Northeast.
where like it was on. They were talking about My Girl, and they were saying how they don't like to say the era that it's set in, but they leave you little hints because they
Mhm.
don't want to like stay too hooked on that. And I think that's kind of what
Yeah.
they try to do here as
No,
well. Like they don't want you to think like, oh, we're just doing like we're trying to keep up with stereotypes of New York or.
But it's also
Mhm.
kind of funny though, because like it never snows in Wisteria Lane.
Yeah.
So like it's
That's what I
also
was
has
gonna
to be like in
say.
California or something.
Yeah,
So,
the show's a fever dream. I'm convinced.
It is. It's so good.
Also,
but
I hate the finale, but that's another. That's
the
another thing
finales
I'll-
it could be no.
No, I'm mad about the finale.
The finale's okay.
No, I
until
rewrite
it starts until everyone starts to leave.
That's what I don't like.
Okay, we
The
can
last
just
10 minutes could be cut off and I
Okay,
would not care.
yes, the last 10 minutes can be cut. The rest of it is really good and it makes me want to cry and we're not going to talk about it
We're not going
because
to talk about it yet, but we will do a full episode and it'll probably be like 4 hours long.
yes, absolutely. But Desperate Housewives, my mom used to watch Desperate Housewives when it was airing on television. Like
So
my
did
mom,
mine. I remember sitting downstairs, my mom would just be like, cover my eyes, and she'd be like, no, don't watch the scene.
but like my mom keeps saying, she's like, I wish there was a show like that on again. Like my aunts watch it and they always used to talk about it and like there's just nothing like it anymore, I feel like.
like a good
And-
housewife mom
Well,
show.
yeah.
Why Women Kill is sort of
But
close,
it's not-
but it's because it's the same writer, so it's
Yeah.
kind of the same vibes, but nothing will ever touch
And
it.
it's not on actual television, it's on a
Yeah.
streaming service. Which old people like my mom don't know how to work. But just Mark Cherry. Well, you know what? The Desperate Housewives Twitter account has been posting. Like, I know they're getting ready for that reboot.
I will take just like a Women Tell All style thing. I don't care. I just want to see them back together.
What
Well, we know
streaming service do
3
you
out
think it would be on? Like Hulu?
Disney, either Hulu or
I think
Disney
it would be
Plus.
Disney because they did it on ABC and ABC is owned by Disney now.
Yeah.
I don't think they would put that on Disney Plus.
Desperate
No.
Housewives is on Disney Plus.
It's not
Really?
in the
Canada.
US. It's
In
not on
Canada.
the US.
Oh.
But
What the hell?
yeah, since
Or
ABC
still
is owned
Prime.
it's
by
still
Disney.
on Hulu though. So
Yeah.
I feel like it would be Hulu.
But y'all don't
or,
have
like,
Hulu,
Disney.
so that's probably why.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Macy, you're on my Hulu, so
Am I?
yeah, you still have an account on my Hulu.
I
I'll
don't
give you the
use yours.
password and stuff.
You can delete it. I have my own.
Oh, okay, all good. But yeah, I just think you need another show like that. I think they're trying to. There's a new show on called Pivoting.
I
Yeah.
heard about that with
It's-
Jennifer Goodwin.
Yeah. I think we said that it was kind of giving us that vibe, but I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either. It just doesn't seem good. I kind of want to watch it because it takes place on Long Island, but apparently
feel
nothing
like-
about the show gives Long Island vibes. So
I don't want to
Yeah.
say that Desperate Housewives is like a lightning in the bottle kind of show, because that's how like people would describe Twin Peaks. But at the same time, you don't get anything like it. Where are you
Yeah,
gonna
No,
find?
I
like,
think you're right.
yeah.
I think the only thing, and I think it's just because I
They
watched
have
them back
Agent
to back.
Cooper too. So.
True. He's in everything. I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, like, I watched Sex and the City and Desperate Housewives back to back, so to me they kind of feel similar. But I think it's just because I watched them back to back.
Okay, but I watched Desperate Housewives first, so I was like, when I watched Twin Peaks, I was like, oh, that's Orson.
I
Yeah,
watched
no,
Peaks
so-
first.
I watched Twin Peaks, Desperate Housewives, How I Met Your Mother. He's in How I Met Your Mother as well, Macy.
Oh my
He's in
God.
everything.
City.
He's on SVU too, so he's been on there
literally
twice.
Kyle.
Two different characters.
All right, this
Kyle
episode is
MacLachlan
dedicated
is
to
the
Kyle
hot-
MacLachlan.
No, it really is.
Women for Kyle MacLachlan.
Wait,
Yes.
he hasn't been in The Office. He has been Nicole. Okay.
He's in everything.
He really is.
Yeah, so if you want to hear us more talk about Desperate Housewives, tune into our Desperate Housewives episode.
Yeah, we don't know
Coming.
when we'll do it, but
It's gonna happen.
that's gonna happen. We were gonna wait till October and do it. What?
Oh, that is during their
That's
anniversary.
October. So I was gonna say we could do it in October, but I don't really want to wait till October.
No, it feels like a spring show, so we'll do it in the springtime.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I should talk about SVU.
Yeah.
Break it in.
This one needs a full explanation, so take as much time as you need.
Okay, so my third. Okay, so the reason why I made this my third one was because it might be a little jarring to everyone. So my third comfort show, I didn't have these in order, by the way. I just made sure this one was last. Is Law and Order Special Victims Unit. And I really want to give a trigger warning first because I will be talking about what the premise of the show is about, and I just want to put that out there for anyone listening that might be triggered by these topics. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go into like explicit detail, but I just want to make sure that people know that it's a very sensitive topic. Okay, so let me explain Law and Order SVU. So first of all, let me say it's been going on for 20 years now.
That's crazy.
It started in 1999, still going strong. So basically, I think everyone kind of gets it. Law and Order is a police procedural. It's about cases that have to do with some that are in sexual nature, but that's not the only thing that Special Victims Unit deals with, which SVU is actually a real unit in police, whatever they're called, precincts. Okay, so SVU obviously means Special Victims Unit. It doesn't just deal with sex crimes. SVU also deals with the elderly and children. So any crimes that have to do with older people or children, they don't have to be in sexual nature. They deal with them too. And like I said,
I know I shouldn't be interrupting, but when you were explaining that, all I can hear is the theme thing in my head, and then dun dun
dun dun dun dun dun dun. I love that song. It hits.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
But
I was just like hearing the exact like guy echoing Special Victims Unit.
These are their stories.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that whole thing. So there are currently 23 seasons. I'm on season 16, but I simultaneously watch the new episodes, so I'm caught up. But so the reason why this is my comfort show is because of one character. It would not be my comfort show if it wasn't for Olivia Benson. And I think that Olivia Benson is probably one of the most like well-known characters. Even if you don't watch Law and Order, you know who she is.
Yeah, I feel like even if you don't know her by name, like you know who she is. We saw a picture.
Yeah.
Right. And I think what's so special about her character is that she has been on the show since 1999. She's been on the show from the beginning, and she's still going strong. And it's such a special thing because you never get to see a character develop and go through trauma stuff for 20 years. You know how you have like time jumps and stuff in TV shows where they grow older and stuff? This is, you literally get to see from 1999 all the way till current day what she has gone through. I also love
that like you've never heard her say like a bad thing about the show. Like she likes being there. I think I haven't heard me say anything. Yeah.
She loves
like, even with
being
like Grey's
there.
Anatomy, there are some who have been there from the beginning, not gonna name names, who like want the show to end, and I'm like, dude, this is your livelihood.
No, Mariska actually loves her job and she loves the routine, and she always says that she knows the crew and everything, and she loves going to work every day. It's like going to an office every day, sort of thing. But
that's crazy that it's been 23 years though.
I know, but it's like I was saying, it's such a special thing being able to see a character go through literally 20 years of development, and you grow so attached to this character. And you see from the beginning of Law and Order, they don't focus on their personal lives, the characters' personal lives. They really focus on cases, and you get to see what they bring of their personal lives into work. So you don't really get to see them outside of work as much. Mm-hmm. But Olivia becomes such a well-loved, like, character that people care about, that she becomes the main focus and the ones that people want to know more about. And it's just really great because you get to see her be this rookie detective, and now this year she's captain. Like, she's literally over everything, and she's been here, and you've seen the trauma that she's gone through, and she has a kid now, and she's like, it's just really nice to see that happen in real time. And you get to see all her horrible hairstyles, which we won't talk about.
There's a few.
Whew. But yeah, the show does deal with obviously a sensitive topic of sexual assault, which isn't something I can necessarily relate to some of the really traumatic things that happen, but the way Olivia deals with the victims feels very comforting to me, and the character that she is, she just cares so much, and where she came from, because you know her backstory, the reason why she got into SVU, which is because her mom was raped, and Olivia was the product of rape, and her mom never got over that, and she took it out on Olivia, and so Olivia had to take care of herself growing up, and she went into SVU to help victims of sexual assault. And yeah, she's just an amazing character, and you just get to see, like I said, you just get to see so much of her grow, and how she deals with victims, and how the times change, and it's just really nice, and she's just such a warm character. She just knows how to deal with situations, and when you see her get in horrible situations, it really hits you. And if anybody who watches this watches SVU and you've seen the William Lewis episodes, you will know that it gets tough for her, and like, you kind of want to die inside because it's so bad. But yeah. So,
are the William Lewis episodes the ones where she gets kidnapped, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, those are the ones where she gets kidnapped. And it's like really intense episodes, and she deals with the trauma that happened in season 15, and she still talks about it like in newer episodes, because she has scars from this guy. Like, she talks about, like, she was branded by him and stuff, like, so it really stuck with her, and it's just really interesting to like know their history and have watched their history. Like, they're not talking about, oh, back when this happened to me. It's like, that was before the show started. It was like, this happened when the show was already on, it's like 20 years of this. And yeah, she's the longest running character on television.
That's crazy.
And she does a pretty damn good job of it.
She does.
Rishka Hargitay. And yeah, she's like, she just turned 58.
Queen ship.
She's 58?
Yeah.
She's 58.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, she started on SVU, and she was like 35. And she met her husband on SVU.
That's cute.
It's really cute. They're really cute. He still guest stars occasionally.
Oh, I love that. Even though, really, like, adorable. Elliot and Olivia.
I hardcore. But I do like their little scenes together, because it's like they never date or anything on the show, her and her husband, and it's like, how are they like so in love, yet they can play these like characters that aren't in love? It's really weird.
I wonder that too, because actually in How I Met Your Mother, their significant others guest star as well, and their significant others play really annoying characters, actually.
But like, maybe the Yellowstone sequel with like Tim and Faith, they like kind of hate each other right now, and then I'm watching that, I'm like, y'all are so in love in real life. How are you doing this?
How do they do it?
I don't know. She slaps him at one point, and I'm waiting.
How do they look into each other's eyes, and you just don't, like, it looks like they're two separate people?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's acting.
Acting, man.
But that's like true acting. But yeah, also I guess I'll say about Elliot and Olivia. So Elliot was on the show from season 1 to season 12, and he was married the whole time, and he had like 5 kids. But there was always something between them, and finally, season whatever we're on, 23, his wife,
Yeah.
she kicked the bucket finally.
Finally.
Now Elliot and Olivia can do their thing. They can raise their kids together, happily ever after. But yeah, imagine a slow burn that's happened for 20 years.
I'd kill myself.
Yeah, I would give up.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm just now in this, and I came back when Elliot came back. But I feel for the people who have been there from the beginning.
So with comfort shows also comes comfort episodes. Some of mine are from like my comfort shows. Some aren't. Like they're definitely comfort like shows as well, but like there's just one episode that just like stick with you, and like
all mine are from my comfort shows.
Not all mine are, but I have a top 3 because I can be here for a while just thinking of ones. But my first one is the slap bet in How I Met Your Mother. Just any Robin Sparkles episode in How I Met Your Mother.
That's a Robin Sparkles episode. Is that Let's Go to the Mall?
Yes.
Okay.
I know that song.
Bop. It's a bop.
Yeah.
Just any Robin Sparkles episode is my go-to watch. That one, and then I don't really like Sandcastles in the Stand, but
isn't that like the song she walks down the aisle to?
I think
it's an instrumental version.
I think it is, which is so funny. I like the oh my god, what's the math game show that she's on?
Oh, I can't remember.
But that one's just so funny too, because it's like they think it's porn and then it's like not porn, but it is porn. It's just so dirty. And then the final Robin Sparkle episode is really funny too, because they've got so many Canadian actors in that one. And there's so many Canadian guest stars. I mean, like, I was going to say Alex Trebek. No, Alan Thicke. Alex Trebek is also in it, but Alan Thicke is the main one. Yeah, so like obviously the slap bet's like probably my number 1 comfort episode of the Robin Sparkles 4-part little thing because it's the first one. And just what?
Quadrilogy.
Thank you, quadrilogy. And I think it's really funny too, just Marshall, Barney, and Lily all coming up with the slap bet.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's like such a fun running joke. That's what I love about this show. There's a lot of running gags that you don't think they're going to go back to, and they always do.
Always go back to it.
I just remember the goat. Like them mentioning there was a goat at a party, and that was in like an early season, and they talk about it like 8 seasons later.
The one thing that they've never fully really mentioned was the pineapple.
Yeah.
The pineapple's very interesting, but
I've just forgotten about it because I don't want to. It'll keep me up.
Okay. But I feel like anyone who watches How I Met Your Mother, I hope you like the Robin Sparkles episode, because it's also funny just to see Robin in a different light, and the fact that she was a Canadian pop star in the 90s. Love her. So then my next comfort episode is the season 7 finale of Desperate Housewives. It's called Come On Over for Dinner, and I meant to mention this with Desperate Housewives. I love how each of Desperate Housewives episode is named after a Stephen Sondheim song.
Yes.
Which I think is so cool. And the fact that they were able to come up with like what's 8 times like 24?
I saw Jenna tweet about it.
Like 192.
Something like that. I feel like there's more actually.
There probably is. That's like a rough estimate. But 192 Stephen Sondheim songs is pretty impressive. May he rest in peace. But just so many good Desperate Housewives episodes. Like I said, the disaster ones somehow bring me comfort in I don't know what way.
The progressive dinner.
The progressive dinner makes me want to live on a block.
No, we're all gonna move onto the same street, and we're gonna have a progressive dinner once a month.
No, like, honestly, though, it just seems like
body
so much fun.
body in a trunk not included. Would rather not.
Nope.
But the
Dead
rest.
body at dessert. Nope. But it's also so funny. Like, so Bree's my favorite character. Just queen shit. Yes. She goes through the most growth and development in the entire show. She's my favorite baby.
Talk about season 3 though.
No. I love the fact that she burns the chicken at the progressive dinner party.
So
it's so funny. So funny. It's just like, it's just so, there's so many funny moments, like, Renee finding out that her ex-husband's getting remarried. I don't want to bring up Tom and Lynette, but, like, really sad, but, like, also just that one scene just kills me every time. But yeah, there's another episode that Sam's gonna mention. That's another one that I can always watch. I can literally, once again, I'm not going to talk about Desperate Housewives that much because it's going to be Desperate Housewives episodes, because I can, like, rank the entire seasons, what seasons are my comfort seasons, my comfort characters, my favorite lines. Like, so come back for the Desperate Housewives episode.
Yeah.
It might be like a 2-part special because, like, it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my last comfort episode is Carol of the Bells from season 2 of Ted Lasso, and I will not spend that much time talking about this because you guys probably want me.
We talked about it a lot in our last episode.
Yeah.
Or no, at the time you're watching this, it was in our last episode.
Oh.
In one of our episodes. I'll link it.
In our Woman for Jason Sudeikis episode, because we love him. But Carol of the Bells is just, it's so perfect and wholesome, and I get Ted Becca, and then I get my little queen Phoebe and Roy Keeley, and just the whole team going to the Higgins, and it's just so good. I literally just watched that episode. Like, if I want to watch Ted Lasso, and I'm really trying hard not to rewatch shows this year. I'm trying to watch new shows and, like, try to get more into movies. But if I just, like, need, like, a Ted Lasso episode, it's that one is going to be put on. Or No Weddings and a Funeral, but...
Okay. So my first one I'm going to talk about is The Office, and I have a lot of comfort ones, which pretty much a bunch of them are my comfort ones. But I mean, I'll be really quick with it. So one of my comfort ones is Jim and Pam's wedding, which is when they have their wedding at Niagara Falls, and they all
I have a question.
Yes.
Is that the one that always has the gif of them, like, going like this down the aisle?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I've always wondered what that's from.
Everyone at the office does, like, this, because when this episode came out, it was when it was popular to do, what were they called? Like flash dances
or something, yeah.
Oh, yeah, when they would do flash dances. So they did it, everyone from the office did it for their wedding, but so many things went wrong before the wedding even started, and it's just such a good episode. It's funny, but also so heartwarming, and also you get to see Jim and Pam get married, which they're perfect for each other. My second favorite Office episode, which goes into my second, whatever, is the dinner party episode. And if you don't know what that means, you live under a rock. It makes me laugh so hard. It's an episode where, like, some of them from the office go to Michael Scott and his girlfriend's condo, and they have a weird relationship. They're kind of, like, very passive aggressive towards each other.
Melora, right?
Huh?
Is that Melora Hardin's character?
Yes.
I have seen this scene.
It makes everyone feel really awkward at this dinner party, and it's all set at this dinner party. There's no, like, there's an office an episode of them in the office, like, in the very beginning, but that's it. It's all set during this party, and it is just so funny, so uncomfortable, and there's, like, a whole blooper reel of just this episode because they could barely get through it. And John Krasinski, he said that is the hardest he's ever laughed, is trying to get through this episode. And it's funny. It's just so funny. I love it. I love when people who have just watched the show, I love it when they get to that episode because I love their thoughts. It's one of my favorite quotable ones. So my third comfort episode is from it's from SVU. But for reasons. Okay. So it's called Fault, and it's in season 6 or 7. I can't remember. And it's the first time we get a scenario with Elliot and Olivia where they have to choose either to get the perp or take care of each other. And it's the episode where I realized that they're meant for each other. So the scenario was there was a kid being kidnapped and he was being taken away in this airport, but Olivia had gotten injured in that process. And Elliot sees the kid get away with the guy, but he goes and grabs Olivia to see if she's okay. And that kid ends up getting killed. And so he gets stuck with this dilemma, like, I just saved Olivia over what our job is. And it becomes this whole thing, like, over several episodes where they're like, can we even be partners anymore because we've gotten too close? And it's just like this whole thing. Oh my God. But that was the episode where it was just like, there's definitely more.
I know, right? It sounds a little messed up, Macy.
Upset,
but it's okay. I get it.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
But it was the first episode where I was like,
yeah,
there's definitely something here. And it just they get in this huge fight and they're just yelling at each other. It's like, feels very emotional. And
domestic a little. No, that's not the right word.
Angsty?
It just really shows how much they care for each other, and it's the first time they hug. And yeah,
they didn't hug until season 6 or 7. God damn, this slow burn.
You take what you can get with the ship. Okay,
we took the handhold for Phallus for how long?
Oh my God, they just held hands for the first time like 2 episodes ago.
Oh, for the first time?
I saw that GIF. The entire timeline loses their ever-loving mind.
We got one GIF of them holding hands, and it was 2 episodes ago. But yeah, so it's very much angsty, but it's just so nice to see that they finally come to terms with after this arc ends, so they have to go after this happens. Their captain is like, I don't know if you guys can work together anymore. I think you've gotten too close. And so they have to go to therapy to talk about what happened there, because they're not talking to each other at this point. Because Elliot is mad that he chose her over saving that kid. And so he's having this dilemma in his head. So they have to go to therapy. And towards the end of this arc, the captain talks to the therapist and is like, so do you think I should split them up? And she's like, if you split them up, you will be losing both of your best detectives. And that's how it ends. And it's like, it's just perfect. Okay, the end.
It is very cute and very perfect.
Yeah.
Little crazy, but definitely it's the spark that it's the ignition that need to light the spark.
Yes. I hate to say that was 6 seasons in, but
6.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is actually crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
And she had bangs, so that was a good season.
That's the real reason why it's your comfort episode.
Yeah.
I do love the bangs era, I will say.
My comfort episodes though. So my first one is from Friends. I don't know why this is my comfort episode, but I know it word for word, beat by beat. I know every single thing, and it's the one with the jellyfish. And it's the one it's the one where Monica gets stung by a jellyfish and then Joey and Chandler have to pee on her. And it's also the one where Phoebe meets her birth mom and Rachel and Ross get back together and she writes him a 5-page letter and starts the whole we were on a break thing, like all that. And I don't know why I love that episode so much, but I rewatch it constantly. And there's really nothing special about it. Like, it's just so fun. And it's like in a new setting too. Like, they're on the beach for the majority of it.
Yeah.
It's just so fun. I love it. And then my other one is from Gilmore Girls, and I actually have two, and I can't decide which one I like more. But one of them is called They Shoot Gilmores, Don't They? Which is where they have a 24-hour dance-a-thon in the town. And it's like, they're like dressed as like 50s people, and like they're just having a giant dance marathon for 24 hours nonstop. And like so much drama, but it's so funny. And then the other one I like is, this is actually probably my favorite episode of the show, is Last Week Fights, This Week Tights. And it's the one where, so Luke and Lorelai are kind of like Elliot and Olivia, where you're waiting for them the entire show.
Yeah.
And at this one, they go to Luke's sister's wedding, and they slow dance together, and he took slow dancing lessons for this. Aww. And like, she looks so pretty too, and it's a Renaissance themed fair, and they dance to like the sweetest song ever, and like every time I hear it, I just kind of want to like melt inside. But it also has like one of like the most divisive storylines where Rory sleeps with her married ex-boyfriend and loses her virginity to him.
Oh.
So like, it's just like a wild episode, but it's like one of like my comfort ones. And I remember like recently I rewatched it like 3 times in the span of like 2-3 days. Like, I just watched it back to back to back because I love it. But then my other one that Lexie mentioned I will be talking about is from Desperate Housewives. And it's The Game. This episode, I die every single time. So in this season, so season 4 is my comfort season too. Like, it's my favorite season of the entire show. It's amazing. I'll watch any episode from that except for the tornado episodes. But so in season 4, Lynette has cancer. So she's dealing with chemo and having like a really rough time with it. So her mom suggests that she do pot. And she's like, no, like, I'm not going to smoke pot. So her mom bakes it into brownies. But Susan is hosting a charades night. So, you know, they just accidentally end up having pot brownies there. And Tom is going around collecting all these pot brownies. And then Lynette comes in and is high as a kite and kicks over a lamp. Like, it's so funny. And she's literally Charades Ninja. It's so funny. It's honestly one of the funniest episodes I've ever seen. It has Catherine in it too, so a plus. And then like, it's one of those like ones where everybody's in like the same place too.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I think that's why I love mine so much too, is because the whole cast is in it. Well, the adult cast, not the children. Yeah.
And like, it's just like an episode, like, I've tweeted it so many times where I'm just like, I'm having a bad day, I just want to go home, crawl into bed, and put on this episode, because it just feels like a hug to me. Like, I remember, like, having, like, anxiety attacks, and then I would just be like, oh my god, like, I can't breathe right now, and I just put it on, and I'm like, just soothed. Okay. I love it so much. It's such a good episode. Like, I don't think any episode can top that one for me. It's so good.
It's so funny.
Also, that's also the episode where Bree is still hiding her pregnancy, so she sends Susan to a gynecologist on, like, the bad side of town. Oh, everything is so good. It's peak.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah, no, like, Tom, like, collecting those brownies was really funny. And the way he just, like, goes up to Bree and is like, carbohydrates or something like that. Just, like, making up the most stupid excuses to do it. And then when Lynette's, like, watching SpongeBob with the kids, it's so funny. Like, if you just, like, want, like, a good laugh, like, this episode really just has it all.
It does.
I love, like, episodes like that are just fun, you know, to cut back the...
I also forgot Lynette, like, she's explaining Hang 'em High, and she reenacts Edie's suicide attempt. She's like, and Tom's like, Hang 'em High?
Hang 'em High. She's like, yes! And everyone's like, excuse me.
I think Lynette is one of the funniest.
Oh, for sure.
God, she's so good.
I think she's like the most funny overall, but Brie delivers her lines in the most way.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, they're like their comedy's different.
Mhm.
But I
Yes.
love it.
It's I love that episode so much. Now I want to go rewatch it. It's so funny. It like always makes me laugh no matter how many times I rewatch it.
Now
does,
I
it does.
rewatch everything you guys talked about.
Same.
But
This is
that's
the
all of our
problem.
like comfort shows stuff.
Yeah.
We were gonna do comfort movies, but this is a
That's
long
for a
episode
different
now,
time.
so I think we're gonna split that up. I don't know when it'll happen, but we will talk about it. And I think maybe we'll like add something else to it too. Don't know what. You'll just kind of see it when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was our
We
comfort
should do
shows.
characters.
I was thinking maybe we do like comfort movies and comfort characters.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, do let us know. And then we'll also have kind of like an interactive one kind of coming up soon that we have planned for March that might already be posted at this time, but maybe not. I don't know. Just keep like attached to like our Twitter and our Instagram.
Yes.
And we'll kind of keep you updated on that. But yeah, that's our episode, I guess.
Yeah, thanks Macy for coming on again.
Yeah, you'll see her lots more.
I literally could talk to you guys for obviously hours.
Oh, this
Yes.
episode became so long because we just couldn't stop talking about random things in the middle. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Enter the Fangirls. You can keep up with us on social media. Our YouTube and Instagram are Enter the Fangirls, and our Twitter is Enter Fangirls.
Make sure you follow us wherever you listen to your podcast, and we cannot wait for you to join us next time. Once again, I'm Lexie.
I'm Sam. That's Macy, and this has been Enter the Fangirls.